Hey everyone, in this video, I'll discuss today's Nifty expiry. So let me share my screen. So before even I share my screen, right? So my I do trading based on charts and technical analysis. So in the screens that I'll share, I'll show you, the how I'll do the trading. So this is today's Nifty's chart. Now what I'll do is, for the first 15 minutes, 9:30 to 9:45, I usually try to avoid this zone because there will be lots of volatility. And since I'm an option buyer, I try to wait and see where the market is moving, which direction market is moving. Let's give some time for the market to take its direction. So at 9:30, this is where the market is. So what I'll do is, this is the top that's been made in 15 minutes, and this is the bottom that's been made at, within the 15 minutes. So try to, usually try to avoid trading within these zones. Okay. So let market break out of this 15-minute zone. And I think that will be a good way to, at least think about looking for trades. Okay. So this is the Nifty spot chart. I'll look at Nifty spot chart. I'll also explain what these indicators are. This is the Nifty futures chart, right? Nifty May futures chart. I'll also look at the OI data. Okay, so this is the OI change data, and this is also combination of OI as well as price data for any particular strike. Okay. And this is the OI unusual activity heat map. So I'll explain everything what this is. So let's actually go to the Nifty spot, right? So at 9:30, right? So what these indicators are is these are all EMA, right? EMA 20, 200, 50, and 100. Of these four indicators, 20 and 200 are pretty important. Okay, so EMA 20 and EMA 200, they either act as a support if the price is above both the EMAs, or they actually act as resistance if the price is below these EMA. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's look at the OI data at 9:30. Okay, so at 9:30, it's bullish, right? You can see, right? Change in call OI is 4.3 CR and 12.4 CR. So it's heavily bullish. And the direction is also indicating, it's bullish, right? So never ever think about going for a PE trade around 9:30. Okay. It will be a suicidal to do. Look for, opposite direction in which the OI data is moving. So never ever look for a PE trade in that case. But will I enter a trade because, the price is above EMA 20 and EMA 200 and the OI data is also indicating bullish? I'll be a bit skeptical because again, looking at the futures data, right? So this is the pivot points, Camarilla pivot points, and we have super trend. The black one is VWAP, 20 EMA and 200 EMA. So what the future start is indicating is at 9:30, okay, the price is above VWAP, which is very good, right? But it is in between VWAP and super trend. Okay, so that's to me is a no trade zone. Okay, so anywhere between super trend and VWAP is a no trade zone to me. Okay, so I'll personally not be getting into it, but I can understand if someone wants to take a small CE trade. Again, I'm an option buyer, so I'm talking from option buying perspective. I think it's okay to take a trade, but go with caution. Looking at the future start. At least I won't be getting into a trade, but uh, right? So what happens eventually, right? The price comes down to EMA 20. As I said, if the price is about 20 EMA, when price eventually comes to 20 EMA, it acts as a support, right? So that's what you saw, right? For example, if you have taken a CE trade, I'll try to keep averaging till EMA 20, and if price breaks 20 EMA, I'll try to exit. But I'll not exit a CE trade as soon as I see a couple of red candles. Okay, so that's the psychology that we should be trading in as a buyer. Okay, so let's look at the data at 9:55. Okay, so it's bullish, right? Looking at the OI, correct? Um, I think I'll be not thinking about going on a CE trade or holding my CE trade from 11:30 a.m. Okay. And I'm saying this because I think actually even before that as well, if you see over here, even at 9:45 to 10 a.m. as well, call OI has increased by 2 CR, whereas put OI has decreased by 1.1 CR. Okay. So that's an indication of where the market wants to go. Okay. So from 11:15 to 11:30, there is no way I'll be staying in CE because the call OI has added by 60 lakh and put OI has been decreased by 20 lakh. So I'll be a little skeptical, although it's still indicating bullish, I'll still be little skeptical. Okay. And if you see further, right, call OI increased by 10, whereas the put OI is decreased by 67 lakhs. This is at 11:30 to 11:45. Okay. 11:30 to 11:45. Okay. Even at 11:45, it's still again, it's, if you look at this futures chart, right, it's still in between super trend and VWAP. So it's still a no-go zone. Okay. Ideally, where I'll be entering a trade is over here, right? In the Nifty spot, the price is below 20 MA. Look at this 11:50 candle. Okay. So price is below 20 MA at 11:50. Uh, Yeah. So even over here, price is trying to breach VWAP, okay? And it's below 20 EMA, correct? So I'll try to look for a PE trade at 11:55. Let's look at OI at 11:55. There you go. Okay. So it's the market is turning bearish. As you could see, the call OI is continuously increasing, right? But the put OI is either less than call OI addition or put OI is decreasing. Okay, so that's a clear indication that market is trying to reverse from bullish to bearish. Okay, and if you see, right, from 11:45, actually from 11:45 to 1:45, there is no way that I'll be at least thinking about taking a call or trying to take a bullish trade because the data is clearly indicating a bearish, right? So because if you see, put OI is continuously decreasing, whereas call OI is continuously increasing. That is a clear sign to never be bullish. Okay. Again, this is all technical analysis. Yeah, so I'll try to enter a trade at say at 11:55 a.m., which 11:55 12 a.m. over here, and until market breaches the 20 MA, I'll try to, hold on to that put trade or, keep averaging. As soon as market slightly goes up, I'll try to keep averaging. What, if you remember what I said, if market is below the 20 MA, whenever it tries to go till 20 MA, it takes rejection. Okay. So if you see over here, it came till here, it tries to go over here, it takes rejection. It comes till here, tries to take a move over here, 20 MA acts as a rejection, it comes over here. Similarly over here, it comes over here. So this is a clear bear market today in the second half. Okay. Even in the future chart, it's the same thing. Okay. Tries to take a support at pivot point, right? But it's, it goes up, takes rejection at 20 MA, tries to take another support at uh, S4 of the pivot point, right? Try to goes up, takes rejection again. Okay. So this is a clear bearish market. And that's what even the data is indicating. It's all bearish, bearish, bearish. Okay? And at 2:15, if you see over here, It's 14 CR versus 8 CR. So never ever even, think about going for a call trade. Okay. Let the market take the direction and only then enter the trade. Never ever take anticipating or hoping that market would, go in your direction. I would always say to go with the market direction rather than you taking a direction and expecting market to move in favor of you. Okay. So that's how I'll trade using spot chart, futures, and the OI data. Over here you could also see what is happening within last 15 minutes, last 30 minutes. Okay. Uh, right. Actually, all this works during the market hours, but yeah, this is the chart. And the other data that you could see is, imagine today the market is at roughly plus or minus 50 points of 24,000. Okay, so 24,000 is going to be a pretty crucial zone. So what you could do is track what is happening at 24,000 PE and CE strikes. Okay, so 24,000 strike, if you look at it, and I'm a buyer, right? So as a buyer, I'll, there is nothing happening if you see over here. It's all short build up on both the sides. Okay. So there is no way that anyone could make any profits till 11:15 a.m. At least for 24,000 strike. Okay. Similar would be the case for 2450 or 24,100 as well. There is no way that an option buyer could make anything, uh, you know, until 11:30. But post that, if you see, after 11:30, somewhere over here, the shorts are covering their positions. Okay. What that means is the price is going to go up. Shorts are covering in the sense someone has sold, right? Imagine they have sold at 24 rupees. Now, what would happen if price goes above 24? Okay. Imagine you are a seller, you've sold something at 24, and if market is at 30 at 35, you would obviously panic because there is unlimited loss for shorts, correct? So they'll try to cover their shorts. And that's what you're seeing over here, right? So relentless short covering, right? So, if you look at from 24, at some stage it went over 100. Okay. So unless and until the shorts are covering, I'll never, exit this trade. Or the other way around, I'll never try to take a call trade for that matter. Okay. If you see, shorts had a great day by just shorting the CE. You know. Yeah. Another point to look at. Okay. So let's say you want to be on anything, let's CE or PE. If it is say 24,000 PE, right? So open the 24,000 PE chart. Add VWAP. Okay. So what does VWAP indicate is, let me highlight this. Let's actually hide 50 and 100 EMA. So VWAP in the sense that's where the sellers have sold. Okay. At any point. Let's go with that. Okay. So for me to take a trade, ideally I want the price to be about 20 EMA, above VWAP, and if possible about 200 EMA. If it is about 200 EMA, then you're gonna have a wonderful day. Okay, so I'll never even for P, maybe I'll try to enter at 12:45. Okay. Yep. 12:45. You see, if it is above 20 EMA and VWAP, the price actually accelerates. Okay, that's when you will see the actual magic that will be happening. Okay. So again, always remember when price breaches 20 EMA, when it's again tries to retrace, it'll 20 EMA acts as a support. Okay. Similar will be the case if if it's below 20 EMA. If you see over here, price has breached 20 EMA. When it tries to go up, 20 EMA is acting as a resistance. So that's how you should be trading. Okay. So yeah. You could also, look at time interval as well, right? 30 minutes. If you see, right? So 24,000 CE, they've started at 77 rupees. Okay. It went till 88. And post that, it's relentless selling. Okay. Prices never crossed 77 or 88 after that. 68, 58, 46, 24, 22. Sellers had a pretty great day today. Okay. So in this kind of a market, never ever think about even taking a CE trade or CE buy trade because this short's gonna kill you. On the other side, right? If you see over here, 24,000 PE, they've started at 41. It went till 46, 24, 19, right? It's all short build up. Then the buyers try to regain, and that's when short covering is the best way to make money. Okay. Because shorts will be in fear. They try to get out of the trade. That's as a buyer, that's what you should be looking at. Okay. This is another chart to look at. What this is OI unusual activity. Okay. So if you look at, we've actually got 5 high alerts and 4 medium alerts, right? So if you look at this at what time is this? 12:45. Okay. We have a short build up in 23,900, 23,950, 24,000. Okay. And this all has unusual OI, meaning, if you see the volume, right? Average OI is 7.4x the average OI. Okay. So what this heat map indicates is something crazy is happening within these strikes, right? So that's a good indication to watch out for the strikes, right? Again, this doesn't say to go for a call trade or for a PE trade. It doesn't say that. What it says is there is something unusual that's been happening over here. So watch out for that. Okay. So in this case, it's saying short buildup, right? There are also cases where the shorts or the big money, they, since PE at 12.45 would be cheaper, the CE, they might buy, right? And there is a possibility that market can reverse. So watch out. That's what this heat map is indicating. Okay, but especially in this case, it's all short build up. So I would stay away from buying a CE strike. Okay, so coming back to tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sensex expiry. What I'll be doing is if I look at this chart, right? Okay, mark down this 23,885, right? Do not take a PE again. So I am speaking from a buyer perspective. So never ever think about a PE trade until market breaches this 885. Okay. And on the upside, let it cross 23,950. So 23,950 and 23,885. This would be a no trade zone to me. Let market break either of these zones. And if it breaches 23,884, I think the next support is at, somewhere around 23,830. And the next hurdle would be the 24,000. Okay. So plan accordingly. I'll see you tomorrow. If possible, I'll try to do a, live trading as well during the market hours. Right. Thanks, everyone.